We'll talk about how our combined solutions help you to respond like superheroes, as we call it, to any potential security threat or other issues that you may want to stay on top of. And we'll, of course, show some workflows because what good is a solution if you can't show it live, right? So, for example, if you ever had any issues with potential breaches of security policies, from contexts that were disabled in your AD, users being activated again, which really shouldn't happen, then you will want to make sure that any potential error or intruder you get notified on. And this is where, Christian, you at SkyPro come in. So maybe you want to say a few words about who SkyPro is.
Yes, just to give a brief overview on who we are and what we are a identity and access governance company. We provide services around identity management, and we have a portfolio of directory monitoring, reporting, and management tools. Our products and services make sure you know what is happening when, where, and why within your directories, as well as we empower you to manage what is important to ensure your environment runs like a well-oiled machine. Doreen?
Yeah. At Derdack, we basically continue hand in hand here with SkyPro. So if there is an event that you should be aware of, we tie in with their solutions and we make sure that the people that should be in the know get notified as fast and as reliably as possible. And we'll talk a little bit about how that looks like in a second. Just one or two sentences here about us as a company, because you may not have heard the name Derdack before. We've been around for over 20 years, initially starting in a slightly different area. And here in the US, we've been building a footprint for the last 7 years now. And we specialize in solutions that help you to automate your critical communications. So in order to actually see what that means, we got to start with what each of our solutions do, so you get the complete picture and the workflow, which will take me back to Christian here again, because you are clearly step number one before we can even do anything.
The product that we want to showcase today, or that we have, that we found has the easiest and most natural integration with Derdack Signal 4, is from our end, is called the Audit and Compliance Dashboard. This is a tool that enables real-time monitoring and reporting on your directories, no matter if it's Active Directory, eDirectory, or Azure. Every event, like add, modify, delete, and so on, will be saved, and it can be displayed using real-time dashboards. You can also run reports tailored on your individual needs. Out of the box, multiple dashboard visualizations of what is happening within your directories, as well as most common reports, are included. They can be used just as they are, or they can be modified, or even new ones can be generated from scratch. So whether you want to have a live overview on what your directories are doing, or if you need to provide reports for other departments, for legal or industry-related entities, the Audit and Compliance Dashboard empowers you to do so easily. The ACD also can generate actions based on individually defined events. And this is exactly where we teamed up with Signal 4, with Derdack, and where they tie in. And this is where I throw the ball back to Doreen.
Yeah, and thank you, Christian, because this is really a big issue for a lot of the customers that we talk to, that they say they literally get sick when they open up their inbox each morning and they see all these different emails piled up, and they now have to go and sort through all of them and figure out what is important or what is not. So most of them are looking for some kind of mechanism to sort the critical, if you like, that you really need to take action on from the rest. Because of the fact that most of our environments are very diverse these days, you have a multitude of systems that will generate all kinds of different events, right? So having a single pane of glass is a key factor in being able to respond as fast as possible. And this is, again, where we teamed up here with SkyPro and Signal 4 to make sure that we almost have like some customers call it a virtual robot or assistant that basically ensures you no longer miss any critical information, even if you are not in front of the dashboard, because that's the important part here. What we automate and augment and streamline for you is the communication when it goes beyond actually sitting in front of your laptop and being aware of things. That goes to the point where we take or we help to configure workflows, provide workflows in the service that you can design to your needs. So if you have after-hour teams and they want to be in the know without having to sit in front of their laptop the whole night, then we make sure that this information really gets streamlined and targeted and sent out to the guys that need to be in the know. How this actually looks, let us pull this up because we have this nice little functional drawing here before we go into the actual demo part, because that will put things into a nice visual context here. And we start with Christian again.
Yep. So we start from the left and go over to the right. So on the left-hand side, you can see you have your directories, eDirectory, Active Directory, or Azure, whatever you're running, whatever your main directory is. The dashboard, the audit and compliance dashboard is monitoring that. It's taking down all the events. And let's say something happens in there that you defined as critical, as important to know. The audit and compliance dashboard on the second part will make a notification and will escalate, and that's exactly where we integrate with Signal 4. That's where we trigger that Signal 4 starts their routine, so to speak.
Right, and then we basically take this information and based on the pre-configured workflow, which reflects your processes and policies usually, we'll notify any potential security breach or other important information fully automated to the people that are responsible for receiving this information, which could be various ways. It could be someone that can act upon it, could be someone that's affected by it, but should know about it, like a manager, etc. And we provide full two-way capability, which is important to notice or to note, because you want to have people actually respond to a critical incident. It's not just something that you fire out and then you hope everyone's kind of received it. You want to make sure that you're closing the loop, as we like to call it, and people do get the information, they acknowledge it, and they can also resolve it and then send that information back, which we again can report back. So that's the two solutions in Unity Live in Action. Next, which would go to Patrick. And I think Patrick and Christian, you're going to take this away, the two of you, right?
Yeah. What we see here, for everybody who already is familiar with the audit and compliance dashboard, this is what you see when you get started. So in here we have the overview. You can access the dashboards. You can access reporting, where you can generate your own reports. You can browse through objects, how they were, how they are, and the administration portion, where you can define who has access to see which events or which dashboards, which reports, etc. But for this use case, we want to look at the dashboard. So if we open up the dashboards part, yep, and then let's take the security dashboard, because that's the topic. We want to be the superheroes to make sure everyone's secure and safe. So in this view here, we can see everything that happened from if somebody modified, got locked by intruder, etc. All the standard important pieces to see. If we click on one of the graphs on the bottom portion of this view, we can see the table of events. We can see the event in detail, what has actually happened. And this is really what, if in this case the locked by intruder happens, this is what you want to see. This is what you have to know as the person in charge to fix it. And when we connect this event happening with Signal 4, that's where Derdack comes in. So Patrick, maybe you can shed some light on here.
So that, and you're exactly right. This is where we pick up at the end here. So, you know, the dashboards and the reporting from SKyPRO gives you a great overview of things. But like Doreen was talking about earlier, we want to make sure that we're taking the emails out of the inbox. We want to make sure that we're taking the information that's in these dashboards and putting it in the palm of the hands of the engineers who actually need to receive these notifications. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the mobile app for Signal 4. I am on duty right now, and the reason that this fully reliable alerting piece comes in is because of the on-call scheduling that we have within Signal 4. I've been automatically punched in at my desired time, and the escalation flows will automatically happen here when the alerts start coming through. So if we take a look, we already see a couple of alerts. So here's the locked by intruder alert that Christian was talking about. What we're doing is we're taking all of the detailed information that the dashboard provides, and we're putting them in nice little neat boxes so that you can quickly identify what the issue is and what you need to do in order to resolve this issue. Okay. So we do this in a couple of different ways with the use of categories, the use of, like I said, the on-call scheduling and things like that. But let's just go through and generate a couple of alerts. That way you can see all of this in action. So I'm going to come over here, and for test user 2, we're going to edit this, and we're going to disable this login. For test user number 1 here, we're going to go through and we're actually going to lock this guy out. It's a locked by intruder event. So you see the on the right, on the mobile app, we've already seen things come in here. And of course, the dashboard has been, updated with the actual events that have been raised. In Signal 4, what we've done, we've targeted the intruder itself. As quickly at a glance, you can see the red color there. Probably couldn't hear it over the Teams meeting, but there was a dedicated ringtone for this. And depending on the way the categories and the schedulers are set up, depends on the actual user who is going to be responsible for this. So if I come in and I take a look, here's my intruder alert. See the question mark here. I'm going to go through and acknowledge this alert. When I do that, it puts my profile up there and gives that transparency of who's working on a specific issue. So you see my profile pictures on a couple of these alerts here. The other members of my team don't have to worry about, going in and trying to resolve this issue. They already know that I'm working on it. Okay. Speaking of which, if I need a little bit of help here, I can come down to my superheroes team and quickly have ad hoc collaboration with Robert here. So I can go through, click on his picture. He's another member of my Signal 4 team, give him a voice call, send him over a text message, let him know I need some help to actually resolve this issue. Okay. But this is going to give you that transparency, that audit trail that you need. Further, to make sure that resolution times are met, SLAs are met, and the actual issue is being resolved. Furthermore, I can go through and click on it, the alert again, and that's going to gray it out. It's going to close that alert out. Okay. This can be written back to just about any third-party source. We can write back to that and make sure that the appropriate information is being sent back there. And that's the basic integration here. We're kind of going through. SkyPRO is seeing the event happen itself, giving that dashboard overview, and then we're taking that next step and actually pushing the alert out to the people who need to receive it.
I'm just sharing the option here for someone that just wanted to look at it and quickly run a trial. That's absolutely easily possible. So just populated the web pages here for both of us.